Okay, you've got about 50 or so days left in this year. And if you're seeing this video, say 6 months from now, use it as a reset for the next quarter. It doesn't matter, but just relevant to this particular year end. You've got about 50 days left. Now, I have a little bit of a gut check for us all. And this is something that I literally, just as of today's filming, put out to our community. The very same message. And I thought, you know what, this would be good to get out by and large to everyone so that you can position yourself to capture what's about to happen in the creative real estate world, in this particular real estate market, because people are flocking to us for this reason. So a little gut check first. Have you been what we call stacking? And stacking simply means we very carefully, and whether you go at your pace or whether fast or slow, you very carefully stack things that are sort of the next step for you logically in your real estate and personal development world. So, for example, are you, right now, even if you're not in our community, are you scheduling yourself in your schedule as a to-do to watch every so often, it could be daily, it could be once a week, the Motivational Mondays, the Deal Structure Sundays, and the Q&A Thursdays? Are you scheduling those so that you can stay up on the content in the skill level? I will tell you that if that's in your schedule, as well as our QLS program, just regularly going through that because that forever changes, you will be, I promise you, in the top 95% of all investors. You'll be 95% ahead of them. I know that for a fact out of all the speaking we've done, and the people in the audience with 20, 25 years experience not understanding properly creative real estate. So that's just one thing that I want to do a gut check. Are you doing that? Are you stacking that stuff? Are you utilizing in our QLS home study program the power of one daily discipline? Here we go. We're coming up on a year end. And people start off with these, okay, I'm going to do these New Year's resolutions. How many people actually carry through or follow through? Very slim. Google it. Depending on what survey you get, it's slim to none follow through with these. So why not have yourself on a regular, what we call the power of one daily discipline, where you have a list of things that you know if you did them daily, you'd accomplish your quarterly or your yearly goals. And all you do is follow those every day. It's your own self-accountability. Are you doing that? Are you role-playing? Just this morning, one of the high six associates who report to me every single night with a voice text, I was on the bike this morning, I got the text saying, hey Chris, here are my metrics for the day, and I want you to know I have a new role play partner, we're role playing every morning, and gave me his setup. Perfect, great. Are you, I'll give you one more stacking, okay? Are you getting your calls critiqued? If you're in our community, great. If you're not, have someone critique what you're doing on the phone. Bare minimum, you listen to your calls after you get off the phone and see if you're on script. That can be a painful experience. Just this morning, from one of our members from our Chairman's Club, which is the highest level in our company, above high six, sent me 2 calls. Now people would say, well, he's in the Chairman's Club or he or she's in the high six. Don't they still do that? Yes. We all can get better every day. We all can slip back into habits. So he sent me 2 calls to which I listened and sent back a bunch of critiques. How valuable would that be for you? So those are just some gut checks. Now, if you're doing all those, whether you're in our community or not, fantastic. If you're not, I'd encourage you to do so. Why? Let me just read you some eye-opening stats when I say I encourage you to do so. I don't want you, I don't think anyone wants you, but I don't want you stuck in the statistics right now reported by the NEFE this week. They said that 85% of Americans, 85% of Americans confirm that some part of their personal finances is causing them stress. Can you imagine that? 85% of people either having problems at night or getting up in the morning worrying about money. Let me break it down further. 37% feel they don't have enough in emergency savings and they're worried about that. Just 31%, I say just, 31% feel like they haven't had enough saved for retirement. Well, that's a bummer. So you get up every day thinking, 31% of them thinking, a third, geez, I don't have enough to retire. That's not a fun day. Paying for health care. 22% of them worried about that. Job security in general, 22%. That's why there's a mass exodus from the W-2 going to entrepreneurship. And that's why there's a mass exodus of people just like you, 6-figure strong jobs or strong 5-figure jobs, leaving to come to the Wicked Smart community. That's a big percentage. 21% of Americans worry about paying off or paying down debt and stress out about it. Think about that for a second. Now, 21% also worry about paying their rent or mortgage. That's a bummer. That's the security, especially if they have a family or kids. I know that would bum me out. I was there in 08. And the last one I'll give you is this, and we keep going on. 44% of Americans report that just paying their regular bills is a top stressor. That's a big deal, guys. So let's go back to the gut check now. I said, if you did all that, great. Now, what if you didn't do that? I have a simple suggestion for you. I hope it didn't sound overwhelming, because sometimes people can say to me, oh, Chris, the discipline thing and the persistence, that can be a lot of work. No, it's actually a lot of work if you don't do it. But the way to start small so you don't stress out is to do just that, baby steps. I'll give you a quick example. I'll give you 2 examples. When I started as a realtor, oh gosh, this is probably 1994-ish, before I bought a franchise, before I was even a broker owner, just a realtor, I remember my coach saying to me, look, I want you to do 12 calls a day. I literally remember sitting at my desk, sweating, looking at the newspaper back then. We didn't have services that could provide them. I'm dating myself a little bit, but that's how we did it. I would circle them and I'd start calling them. And I would stress about that. But I had to start somewhere. If you fast forward 2 years, this is probably 96, 97, I was banging off 100 calls a day like it was habitual in getting deals, and after a couple of years doing 100 deals a year. So that in hindsight looked like nothing, but the day he told me that, I thought to myself, man, that's going to really suck. And I stressed about it. Another simple example outside of real estate, I remember bringing my daughter Kayla to riding, her first introduction to horses. By the way, that cost me a lot just from that one little thought I had when she was 7. But at the time, it was a cool idea. And they brought her through the ring on the horse, and they wanted to start having her jump. But to start having her jump, they had her walk over the horse, walk over a fence post that was on the ground. Just step over it. And then eventually it became about 6 inches. And then later on, to give us a heart attack, she's jumping 6 feet. Same thing as my calls, but in hindsight, she probably looks back and go, well, that was a joke, and I do too. But it was a baby step in the right direction. So if all those things I said stacking intimidate you in any way, start with one thing on the list. Start with watching one deal structure video a week. Start with putting one thing on your Power of One daily discipline, just one at a time. And please, 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 please ask for help. We are available to you every single week, in our community anyway, for free. We have a Wicked Smart Sit Down. It runs at 4 o'clock for 50 minutes approximately every Thursday, barring a holiday. All you can do is go to smartrealestatecoach.com/events to go ahead and register for that. And we look forward to seeing you there. And let's start diving in and ripping apart this stuff so you have an amazing next year. And again, if you're watching this later, you have an amazing next quarter. You deserve it.